here. We have a massive problem with credit card debt in our nation. And I found a way to pay off credit card debt really fast. And it's not a new way, but it's a way. There's an offer right now called a balance transfer that I want to talk about. And sometimes credit card companies leave those balance transfers, those 0% interest rates, really short terms. I found one that's pretty amazing and I want to go over with you, but I want to share a couple of stories. And if you are in credit card debt and you are finding it very hard to cope with what's going on financially and in the economy right now, you need to actually not worry, because I'm going to show you easy ways to get out of this hole. I've personally been in it a long time ago when I was young, and I stepped out of it, and there's easy steps to take. It says here, borrowers, especially the young, are struggling with credit card debt, potentially being a bad sign for the economy. And this is out of the AP News. It says consumers are increasingly struggling to pay their credit card bills, raising concerns about severe delinquencies, spiraling and sapping consumer spending. The share of credit card debt that's more than 90 days overdue rose to 10.7% during the first quarter, a 14-year high, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York's report on first quarter household debt. And that number is spiking quite drastically. And the good thing is I'm going to show you a way in this video, and I want to put your fears at ease. And I'm not joking. You're going to get out of this debt, and then you are going to be taking advantage of the greatest financial crash in history. And you are no longer going to be like what happened in the past during the Great Recession, where people missed out on the amazing deals because they were late payers. Check this out. It says here, a year ago, severe delinquencies totaled 8.2% of credit card debt. The first quarter jump in severe delinquencies, going up to over 10.5%, was the biggest since 2011. Think about back in 2011, we were still reeling during the Great Recession. Okay. And the reason why the Great Recession even happened and their homes were super cheap and cars were super cheap, because no one could afford to go down to a car lot or a mortgage house and apply for a loan because they had missed payments a year or two ago prior to that, or they had slow paid. And see, my calling is to get you out of that rut, have your head held high, and be ready for this. Okay? And we're going to talk about balance transfers. Now, another story that I just recognized right here. As a matter of fact, type 1 if you've been in credit card debt and you've got out. Type 2 if you are in credit card debt and you want to get out. And then I want you to go through the comments, and those of you that are out of credit card debt, because we've all experienced this. And if anyone was going to sit there and be cocky in the comment section and say, oh, I've never had debt, and just go somewhere else. This isn't for you, okay? Because we're going to wake the nation up and help people get out of debt. This is out of Fox 59. It says nearly 40% of Americans paid a late fee in the past 12 months. It says consumers are struggling to pay their bills on time, and many are leaning on credit cards to make ends meet. A new NerdWallet survey found 37% of Americans had been charged a late fee on their bills over the past 12 months. Among those with minor children, that number jumped to 61%. Okay? When I tell you this idea, I've actually done one video before ever on this channel about this, and I had friends of mine call me and said, I knew this was possible, but I never actually went and did it. I did it. I'm out of debt. Okay? Because it's going to pay our credit card off so fast, it's insane. Late fees on credit cards were the most common, with 21% of respondents incurring at least one penalty over the last year, followed by utility bills, which made up 10%, and rent, which made up 8%. When you miss a payment and you have to pay a late fee, it also dings your credit and takes you out of the running of what is going to be the greatest financial collapse in our country's history in the last 100 years. And I want you to be a part of it. But in order to be a part of it, you have to get out of credit card debt. And you have to live like no one today. Set aside all the Instagram, beautiful people that live their lives also amazing, but they probably cried themselves to sleep. Live like no one today so that you could live like none of them tomorrow. I promise this. It says here, nowadays consumers are relying on credit to cover basic necessities at the supermarket, where prices are up 25% since the pandemic. So let's talk about this. And This is not a sponsored video. I'm going to talk about a credit card company that the Motley Fool is talking about. They, if you click on their link, go to their website, this is how the world works. They get paid for you clicking on their link. But I'm going to show you this credit card. We're going to talk about it, okay? It's the Citi Double Cash Card. Now, you're probably thinking, we're going to use a credit card to get you out of credit card debt. And also, if you want, the only sponsorship here is myself. If you want to take advantage, I've only talked about it, I think, once in 3 years. My Dominate Debt course is $39. There's a link down below. But this right here, what I'm going to tell you is going to get you out of credit card debt. All right, so right here, this is what Motley Fool is calling the best in-class cashback card with 0%, you heard 0% interest, APR, for 18 months on balance transfers. So let's explain. Let's say you have $10,000. As a matter of fact, I would love it. And you need to hold your head up high. I'm not joking. If you are here because you have credit card debt and you want to get out of this, first off, it's like anything we deal with in our lives that's bad. The first thing is acknowledging it, right? All right. I want you to put a dollar number, whatever you feel comfortable with, because some people, there's mean people on the internet, right? They're all trolls. They have no guts. They would never talk to you to your face like this. They're complete tools. So they were probably going to say something. But say how much you'd like to pay off. Like, give me a number. And the reason why I say to do this is because you acknowledge it, and you're going to do something about it. There's that starting point. Haters are always going to hate. I've been in credit card debt where I couldn't pay off my credit card every month. And just, I use lots of credit cards. Every month I pay them off, the balances, and I do not incur any interest. I use that instead of a bank account. And I take advantage of all of the benefits that come along with credit cards, right? And I'll show you how to do that as well. But we want to get you out. So look at all these people that are saying they have the guts right now to say how much in debt they are. Now, if you're committed right now to pay this off, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do this together. So this balance transfer, let's say you've got $10,000 in debt. Every month, if you're just paying the minimum payment, that's only interest. You never get to pay down that debt. It just goes away. The credit card company it's their money, right? When you transfer that balance, now you have to have the proper credit to go and apply for one of these loans. And if you don't have the proper credit, there's easy things that you could do right now, like changing your debt to income ratio. How would you do that? You'd pay off the lowest the smallest amount loan right away. I know it sounds crazy because there's all these gurus out there. They tell you to pay it down, pay it down. They never show you this, how to actually pay it down. They say, just pay it down, and pay down your highest interest only right away. Well, that's actually not always the best deal. Now, I go back into this in the course more, but let me explain that. When you're talking about your debt to income ratio and the way credit card companies view you, and I'm giving you this little lesson, this mini lesson, in case you apply for this card for the zero balance transfer and you get turned down, okay? So you list out all of your bills, and next to them you list out how much you owe, what the interest rate is, and what the minimum payment is. And what I want you to do is, if there's even though they have, let's say, low interest rates, but they're just really close to paying off, crank that down and get that paid off. Because then what happens is the computer that analyzes your financial life, it looks at how much you now no longer have to pay. You have one less debt that's gone totally, and you don't have that minimum monthly payment, okay? And they compare that payment to your income. So your debt to income ratio goes up, all right? So don't listen to some of these gurus that always like highest interest rate. Yes, that saves you money, but what I want to do is get you into a position to be able to qualify for this credit card, do a 0% balance transfer, let's say the whole $10,000 over, and then you start every payment you make, every dollar you put down each month on this, you pay off the amount. Zero of it for 18 months goes to interest. This is this bank's way of sucking in new business, and then they're going to hope and send you all these amazing offers to blow your money and get back into debt. Once you understand that and you say, no more, I'm not going to be a part of this, then you will absolutely be richer than you've ever been before. I'm not joking. I am 100% living proof that this is possible, okay? So this card, again, I'm going to read some of the stats. This is what it looks like, this Citi, just Google Citi Double Cash Card, okay? And the cash part only comes into when you're actively spending, not on a 0% transfer, okay? So it says here, the Citi Double Cash Card features the best perks of a cashback card and a balance transfer card. That's what we're focusing on. In an all-in-one powerful package, its top-notch perks include 0% APR for balance transfers from your old credit card to this one for a whopping 18 months. And when they say whopping, and the reason why I'm doing this video is because it's a big deal. That is a long period of time. So for people with big debt, you can, if you qualify for this balance transfer, you go do it and you attack that debt. That is 0%. That is not a license to not make a payment for 18 months. That is a license to go out and crush it. Now, if you are going to crush it and pay off your debt, type 10. Let's get this algo fired up and help a lot of people all at once. Now, the 0% intro APR for balance transfers that lasts a whopping 18 months, that's long enough to save $1,863 in interest charges, paying off a $10,000 of debt. So going back to my example, if you had $10,000 in credit card debt and you're paying the minimum payments and you can't even attack that thing, by using this, transferring the $10,000 over to this new card with 0% at 18 months, and you get that $10,000 paid off in that 18 months, and I honestly believe in you that you can get it paid off in less than half of that time. You will save $1,800 in interest. That's money in your pocket, money that could go buy some gold, silver, Bitcoin, or go to paying off another debt. We get you completely out of debt. Remember, the debtor is slave to the lender. And I don't want to see any of you in slavery. As a matter of fact, I want you all coming along with me during this economic crash. And to anyone else that still has credit card debt when this thing goes down and they start missing payments and they can't go get the deal on the new car, they can't, that's half price because the auto dealers can't qualify anyone for the loan. All the houses that are super cheap. I want you coming alongside of me. Now it says they talk about other things like a combined 2% cash back on purchases, but that's not the meaning for this video. The meaning for this video is to see you get out of debt right now. And I'll tell you what, if anyone watching is completely debt-free or getting out of debt and you agree with this and you want to encourage people, I want you to throw some emojis out right now in the comment section, in the live chat section. I want you to encourage people right now because I'm going to tell you right now, you have everything it takes to get out of debt and to crush it financially. I don't care what your dad told you about you. I don't care what your mama said about you. I don't care what your other family and friends said about you. I don't care what they say. I say you've got the authority to do it. Maybe you just need the right coach. And if you need a course and like a guideline to get out of debt, I'll put the Dominate Debt course down below for $39. You want to know why I'm charging for it? Because if you want it bad enough and you got a little bit of skin in the game, you're gonna watch it, you're gonna learn from it, and you're gonna conquer debt. Debt leads to death. They both start with a D. And you know what? I've been there, I've done it, I'm on the other side, and I want to help millions of people get out of debt. You've got what it takes. I hope you got something out of this. I'll put the link to the course down below, but right there, 18 months, 0% balance transfers. Do it. The Economic Ninja is out.